Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit. We're slightly shifting from those queries to a very interesting conversation about KEC International, and because they've won a big order. And to discuss as to how things are panning out, we're joined by Vimal Kejriwal, who's the Managing Director and CEO at KEC International, joining us now. Mr. Kejriwal, hi. A very good morning to you, and always a pleasure speaking with you. Before I go on to the specifics of the order, just want to get a sense, because this particular order of more than 1,400 odd crores, that's in the space of T&D, and the momentum in the entire order book of T&D has been picking up. Just want to get a color as to how that entire space is shaping up, and of course your outlook with regards to where international orders as well for T&D stand.
So, Mahima, the orders which we announced today, T&D is roughly around 50% of that, and 40% is civil, and the rest is cables. So, but I think notwithstanding that, T&D is shaping out very well. Out of our total order intake this year of 8,400 odd crores, almost 65% is from T&D. And if you look at geographically, India is doing very well, and Middle East continues to do very well. So it's basically India, Middle East, and Americas in the T&D where we are seeing a lot of action happening.
Mr. Kejriwal, hi, morning. And
morning, Alex.
I must say that this is one of the stocks that I had picked in my list today, because out of everything that has happened, I think 1,400 crore order, and there's also one piece in the real estate space where you've gotten a repeat order. So,
yeah.
So as you've pointed out, 50% in transmission and distribution. I just want to understand as well, because part of this order comes in from the Americas, where you're talking about certain infrastructure that you're helping set up. So while there has been a substantial portion come through over the course of the year so far, is that trajectory likely to maintain in the rest of the financial year?
Well, as far as Americas are concerned, I think with the big bold budget, what we are seeing is that a lot of projects are getting expedited. So the number of inquiries from Americas are actually going up. And one interesting thing which is there, while everyone talks about tariff, but on steel, there's a uniform tariff of 50% across the globe, except for some minor concessions to UK. So that's not impacting us. And also a plant in Mexico, which comes under the US agreement, where if you use US steel, there is zero tariff. So I think we are pretty happy with what we are seeing in that market and the growth in that market.
Talk to us about execution as well, because as things stand, 34,400 crore order book. The question then comes about as to how much is executable in this current financial year, and what does that mean for top line and overall operations?
So typically, our order book is I'll say on an average around 18 months to 24 months. That's the way we look at our order book and when we take orders. This year, we have announced a 15% targeted growth, which will take our revenue to around, I think, roughly around 25,000 crores or so. That's the way we are looking at our top line growth and the numbers and the execution.
Kejriwal, how's the tender pipeline looking like right now, and what is the kind of conversion ratio that you usually have?
So usually what happens is we win around anywhere between 10 to 20%. I'll say around 15% is the average which we have of the tenders which we quote. If you look at the tender pipeline today, we are looking at around 1,80,000 crores or so of the tender pipeline, divided half between transmission and the balance between civil and railways and other businesses. So that's the way it is.
In terms of inputs for you, Mr. Kejriwal, can you give us a sense of whether or not they are relatively less problematic as they have been in the past? Are they more or less benign right now, and are they likely to stay that way in the near term?
Alex, there are two pieces to it. One is the raw material side, which is basically, I'll say, when I say raw material, like cement, steel, and all of this. So I think, as you're aware, they are benign, and hopefully with whatever you're talking about, GST and all that, it should be good for us. Second part is the equipments which we buy, which could be transformers, which could be switch gears, which could be conductors, etc. So clearly on the transmission side, the situation has improved. A lot of capacities have gone up. On the substation equipment side, I think I'll say the situation is not improved significantly, but the project timelines have now been conditioned to the delivery period. So typically a subsidy which used to be executed in 12 months, now the clients are saying, okay, we'll give you 18 months. So the delays are not hampering the execution. Okay, we can execute faster if the equipments are available earlier, but the delays have now been sort of factored into the project timelines by all the developers.
Mr. Kejriwal, in terms of your margins, you've guided for a margin range anywhere between that 8 to 9% mark, and that commentary has remained consistent. Any timelines in place as to when this will be implemented and go through?
So what we have said is that for this year we are expecting from 8 to 8.5%. We were at 7 in Q1, so we expect that gradually it will go up, and we should end on an average of 8 to 8.5%. And hopefully, we have been generally saying that we should be improving it by another 50 basis points. So next year should be between 8.5 to 9%. But next year is a little bit far away. I'm just hoping that we should be around that number.
Okay, all right. On that note, on that hopeful note, Mr. Kejriwal, thanks so much for taking the time, and look forward to speaking to you really soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, let's shift focus back to Ask Profit, and we've got